When Marcus Chen threw his pregnant wife into the cold night, he thought he was throwing away trash. He didn't know he had just thrown away the only person keeping him alive. Isabella Chen stood outside their big apartment building at 2 in the morning. Snow fell on her hair. Her belly was round with their baby. 6 months pregnant and homeless. Inside through the glass doors, she could see Marcus kissing another woman. Her name was Jade. She wore expensive jewelry and laughed like she had won a prize. Marcus saw Isabella watching. He didn't feel sorry. He felt free. "Pack your cheap clothes and go," he had shouted at her an hour ago. "You were always worthless. Jade is everything you never were. Smart, beautiful, connected to important people." Isabella's suitcase sat in the snow beside her feet. Her phone buzzed. Unknown number. One message. "Your father prepared for this moment." Isabella's heart stopped. Her father, dead for 10 years. A poor man who died with nothing. That's what she always believed. But that single message felt like a whisper from heaven. What she didn't know was that her father wasn't dead at all. Vincent Moretti, the secret technology billionaire, had faked his own death to protect his family from dangerous enemies. And before he disappeared, he wrote special instructions. "If anyone ever betrays my daughter in marriage, give her everything. $8 billion, 20 companies, an empire built in silence." The trigger was pulled the moment Marcus pushed Isabella out the door. Across the city in a tall building made of black glass, lawyers were already opening files with Isabella's name on them. Her father's accountant was unlocking bank accounts. Her father's private investigator was gathering evidence against Marcus, and the clock was ticking. By morning, Marcus Chen would wake up to find his entire world owned by the woman he called worthless. Isabella stood in the snow, crying. An old neighbor, Mrs. Park, opened her window 3 floors up. "Come inside, dear," she called down. "You'll freeze." But Isabella shook her head. "I need to be cold right now," she whispered. "I need to remember this feeling, because one day, Marcus will feel it too." She picked up her suitcase and walked into the dark. Behind her, the apartment lights glowed warm and bright. Marcus and Jade were drinking champagne. They were celebrating freedom. What they didn't know was that freedom was about to cost them everything. The next morning came fast and cruel. Marcus woke up in his king-size bed with Jade beside him. He checked his phone. 70 missed calls. "What the hell?" he muttered. Then he saw the news alert. Moretti Industries returns. Billionaire's daughter, Isabella Chen, takes control of tech empire. His blood turned to ice. He clicked the article. There was Isabella's face, professional photo, confident smile. The article said she was the daughter of Vincent Moretti, the richest man in the tech world, who disappeared 10 years ago. It said she now controlled Moretti Industries. It said Moretti Industries owned 60% of Chen Enterprises, Marcus's company. His hands started shaking. "That's impossible," he whispered. Jade woke up and grabbed the phone. Her face went white. She looked at Marcus like he was a stranger. "You're married to a billionaire's daughter, and you threw her out?" Jade's voice was high and thin. "Are you insane?" Before Marcus could answer, his phone rang. His lawyer. "Marcus, we have a serious problem. Your company accounts are frozen. Moretti Industries is calling an emergency board meeting. They're voting you out." "No," Marcus shouted. "I built that company. I own it." His lawyer's voice was tired. "You never owned it, Marcus. The funding came from Moretti's shell companies. You've been working for her family this whole time." The phone went dead. Marcus sat in bed, feeling his whole world crack apart. Jade was already packing her bags. "Where are you going?" he asked. "Away from you," she said coldly. "I don't date broke men." Hello family, welcome back. Before we continue, Please click subscribe. Every single click helps us tell stories about people who rise from pain. And in the comments, tell us where you're watching from, because when we share these stories, we remind each other that quiet people can be the strongest people. Let's continue. Marcos tried calling Isabella 20 times. She never answered. He tried going to his office, but security stopped him at the door. "Sir, you're no longer employed here." "But this is my company," Marcos yelled. The security guard shook his head. "Not anymore, sir. The new owner is upstairs." Marcos's heart pounded. He pushed past security and ran to the elevator. When the doors opened on the top floor, he saw something that made him feel sick. Isabella sat in the big leather chair at the head of the long table. She wore a black business suit. Her hair was pulled back. Her pregnant belly showed, but she sat straight and strong. Around the table were 10 board members. All were watching Marcos with cold eyes. "Hello, Marcos," Isabella said quietly. Her voice was calm like still water. "Please sit down." Marcos stumbled to a chair. "This is a mistake," he said. "Isabella, you don't understand business. You can't just take over." Isabella smiled, but it wasn't a kind smile. "Can't I?" She slid the folder across the table. "My father bought into your company 7 years ago. You thought the money came from investors. It came from him. Every success you had, every deal you closed, it was his money, his connections, his power." Marcos opened the folder. Papers and papers, bank statements, wire transfers, all showing money flowing from Moretti's account into his company. He felt dizzy. "But why?" he whispered. "Why did he help me?" Isabella's eyes were hard as stone. "Because I asked him to. Because I loved you. Because I believed in you. I asked my father to help you secretly because I didn't want you to feel small. I wanted you to feel like you built something yourself." Her voice cracked just a little. "But you threw me away anyway. You called me worthless, dead weight, a burden." The room was silent. One board member, an older man named Mr. Harrison, spoke up. "We've also discovered financial crimes, Marcos. You've been stealing money through fake contracts. $15 million. We're pressing charges." Marcos's face went grey. No, please, I can explain." Isabella stood up slowly, her hand on her belly. "There's nothing to explain. You're fired, Marcos. And you're going to jail. Security, please escort him out." 2 guards came forward. Marcos tried to run, but they caught him. "Isabella, please," he begged. "I'm sorry. I made a mistake. We can fix this. Think about our baby." Isabella's face didn't change. "Our baby will never know a father like you. They will know honor, respect, strength, things you never had." As the guards dragged Marcos away, he screamed and cried, but no one helped him. Jade had already sold her story to the newspapers. Marcos Chen fooled me too, the headlines would say tomorrow. His friends stopped answering his calls. His parents disowned him, and the police were waiting downstairs with handcuffs. 6 months passed, like a long dream. Isabella gave birth to a beautiful baby girl. She named her Elena. On the day Elena was born, something wonderful happened. A man walked into the hospital room. He was older with grey hair and kind eyes. Isabella looked up from her baby and started crying. "Dad?" Vincent Moretti smiled. His eyes were wet too. "Hello, my little girl. I'm sorry I stayed away so long." They hugged for a long time. Elena slept between them. "You were always strong," Vincent said softly. "Even when you were a little girl. You just didn't see it yet." Isabella wiped her tears. "Why did you hide for so long?" Vincent sat down. "Bad men wanted to hurt our family. I had to disappear to keep you and your mother safe. But I watched you every day. I knew when you married Marcos. I knew he was weak, but I hoped he would grow. When he hurt you, I knew it was time." "Time for what?" Isabella asked. "Time for you to take your place." Vincent smiled. You're not just my daughter. You're the future of everything I built. And you're stronger than I ever was. 1 year later, Isabella stood at the window of the tallest building in the city. Baby Elena was on her hip, looking out at the lights below. The TV in the corner showed the evening news. Tonight, Marcus Chen was sentenced to 8 years in prison for fraud and theft. His lawyer said he showed no remorse. Isabella didn't feel happy. She didn't feel sad. She just felt free. She looked down at Elena. Your grandfather taught me something, she whispered to her baby. Never mistake silence for weakness. Quiet rivers run deep. Gentle people can have thunder inside. Elena grabbed her mother's finger and smiled. Outside, the sun was setting in orange and gold. Somewhere in a small prison cell, Marcus Chen stared at a wall. He thought about the wife he threw away, the baby he would never know, the empire he never really owned, and he finally understood. He hadn't married up, she had married down. And when you treat a gift like garbage, God takes it back and gives it to someone who deserves it. Isabella closed the curtains. She kissed Elena's head and she whispered one last thing. Deadweight rises, anchors sink, and kindness always remembers. The moral of this story is simple. Never judge a person by how quiet they are. Never think someone is weak because they don't fight back right away. And never, ever throw away someone who loves you because you might be throwing away the only person holding you up. Treat people with respect. Treat love like treasure. Because the person you hurt today might be the person who owns your whole world. And karma doesn't forget.